thanks for what you do with your podcast and all the rest. You're doing a great job. Hope everybody keeps tuning in. You get a lot of good info, a lot of insights, understandings of how to get strong, how to stay strong, how to use your strength.
You do a great job, dude. You make things better than they are in real life, I think.
If you don't follow Massenomics, y'all do it. Social media, website, everything.
Massenomics.
Welcome, everyone, for episode 483 of the Massenomics podcast, the lifting podcast about nothing, and Home Gym Con 2025 recap. My name is Tanner.
And my name is Tommy.
Tommy, we're back.
You're back.
We're back. But we're back.
I don't know if you were just going to stay in Louisville.
We've got our 1-2 punch back together here. It's not
That's
often
right,
we
actually,
get
the combo.
not often we get separated, and we've
one of the few times in Massenomics history that we weren't a team at an event.
Yeah, and I made it back from Home Gym Con, and all I have to show for it is the sticker of Keith's head.
It's a pretty good thing to show for it, actually.
Yeah, actually, it's pretty legit. No, it was a heck of a trip. We're going to get to talking some rundown on that. We got a few other Massenomics updates to talk about. But first, I want to mention the newest sponsor of the Massenomics podcast is EliteFTS. We broke the news on this last week, so if you didn't listen to 482, you haven't heard it yet. EliteFTS is now sponsoring the Massenomics podcast, and we're pretty excited about that. Everyone that we've worked with as sponsors of the Massenomics podcast are people that we know and trust, and EliteFTS is no exception. We've been customers of theirs long before this partnership ever came about. And we have a discount code with them that'll save you 10% on most things on the site. There's a few exclusions that apply. Sometimes if some things are already on sale, it won't. But a lot of the stuff like bands, even if they're on sale on the website, you can still use code MASS10 and save 10% off of that. And we got a goodie box here, Tommy, so I'm going to have to share some of this with you the next time you're in western northeast South Dakota. But here, for example, this one I have is the Pro Shorty Heavy Resistance Band.
Yeah, it's a thick one.
Yeah, this is, I think, the heaviest short one that they have, and this is extremely.
Yeah, what do you use that for?
Well, so I was looking up. I'm like, well, what are some of the main uses for the short bands? And what I see a lot is maybe not this one exactly, but hip abduction and adduction exercises. So it's almost like hip circle adjacent at times,
right?
But then maybe a little bit more multifunctional than just a hip circle too, because they say also like shoulder spider crawls. Accommodating resistance on certain machines and lever arms too. And I'm like, being after Home Gym Con, I totally get that, because that's a thing on machines that becoming more and more common, where I see band resistance available as options.
Yep.
So I could see some of these short bands being an option for those too. And I think EliteFTS kind of has the best bands in the business. They have for a long time. And by using discount code MASS10, you save 10% on a lot of stuff over at EliteFTS. Check it out.
This episode is also brought to you by The Strength Co. Strength Co. sell the best made in America E-coated iron plates that you can get today. They're smooth yet easy to grip. They're made in America, like I just said. They have a very striking, bold, black, shiny appearance that once you load up a bar with these things, you'll never want to load anything else. I believe they recently just had a restock on their plates. I think the 35s are back in stock for the first time in a while. And really everything is in stock besides the 0.75. So if you are on the fence on a pair of Strength Co plates, right now is the time to go. You can get loaded up, and they ship quick, ship fast, and ship pretty affordably, actually, compared to a lot of other plates on the market. And while you're there, you can also check out their other great selection of products, like their barbells, apparel, other gym equipment. They got it all. Check them out, thestrength.co.
Hell yeah. What, are you drinking anything this week, Tommy? Or?
Well, actually, I had kind of a wild weekend, so I have just plain still water here. But I do have one other thing. It's partly a sack segment, too, and that is an apple watermelon genius shot.
Oh, yeah.
How long ago did you send this to me?
Did I send something else with you?
Oh,
with that?
yes, actually, that's right here. I forgot. Okay, can we talk
should
about that
do
for
that.
a second? Because I was wondering.
Yeah. I don't have mine with me, but so you've already opened that. So
Yes.
I thought about telling you not to open it and open it live on the podcast, but I forgot about it.
In our neighborhood, you don't have mailboxes on your house. There's a central mailbox in the neighborhood you got to go to. So because of that, I don't check the mail occasionally for maybe a week or two. And this was one of those times I hadn't checked it for a week or two. And I had a package from Tanner, and I thought, we don't have a drop going on.
Like, yeah, right.
We have a drop. Right. What is he sending me? Because this clearly looks like a clothing package. It's squishy. It's big. And I opened it up. A couple Genius shots fell out. Maybe there was some stickers or something. But then there was this crew neck sweater of the Edmund Fitzgerald.
Yes.
And I don't know if everyone can see in this, but it's on the top. It says "Gone but not forgotten." There is a photo of the ship itself, the Edmund Fitzgerald, lost with all 29 hands, November 10th, 1975. And then the back. I actually hadn't looked at the back until right now. I'm assuming this is all of the crew members.
All 29 names
listed on the back. This is a quality piece right here. What's the story with it?
That is from the museum, the Maritime Museum, from Brad the Pad.
Oh,
that is from
authentic,
an authentic piece right there that Brad picked up. So we got one for you and one for me. I've been wearing mine actually. I didn't want to talk about it on the podcast though until you got yours.
This will be like a daily driver once the weather cools in the gym out here.
Episode 482, we just talked about it. Crew neck sweatshirts in the gym are a high quality training piece, maybe underrated even. So I have been wearing my SS Edmund Fitzgerald crew neck a little bit. Unfortunately, it's been really hot.
It has been. So it's not the most convenient time to wear it right now.
It hasn't been the right.
Damn, Brad the
time.
Pad hooking it up. Thanks, Big Brad.
Brad the Pad hooked us up, and then the Genius Shot crew sent us some more samples over. So I tossed a couple of those over to you. Are you going to try one of those?
Yeah, I'm gonna pop into that. Have you had this one yet?
I've had that flavor. Yeah, I did try it. Actually, I think every single flavor is completely sold out now. I saw Nick or Dr. Mike say that they've sold out of every single one that they have.
Wow.
So, and I have a Nicola LaCroix because I need a little recovery from this home gym con weekend. I'm a hurting unit.
Would you say you need a vacation from your vacation?
Yeah, luckily I'm going on vacation tomorrow. So.
Oh, are you actually gone? I couldn't remember if you were gone tomorrow or Tuesday.
Yeah, we leave tomorrow morning.
Oh, okay. So you are on vacation now.
Yeah, I'm going to the big lake they call Gitchigumi. Actually, I'm going to Lake Superior. So
yeah, hell yeah.
SS Edmund Fitzgerald.
Are you going to come and show up in your sweatshirt? See how many?
I want to, but it's going to be really hot. So
you can do the thing kind of like the sailor thing where you the rowing crew where you just tie it in a loose knot and lay it over your shoulders, but have it showing out the back.
Well, I am kind of rowing crew now, so it really makes sense.
Yeah, actually, yes. On many levels, people will be interested.
Yeah.
Well, here goes nothing. We'll do the first flavor test. It's pretty good.
Yep.
It is not bad at all. Still just blows my mind that this can be a thing. That can have protein in it.
Yeah.
Genius Shot apple melon, 23 grams of protein. Yeah, I can recommend that.
You just got a little protein spike for your day here, didn't you?
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Now we can start the show.
Yeah. I might have to pack a few of those with me to go to the big lake. They call it Gitchigumi, Lake Superior.
It's an easy way to keep those protein levels up.
Yep. So do we jump into home gym con? I mean, is that
I want to hear all about it. You know, you were so busy all weekend. We exchanged a couple text messages and that was about it. So I'm basically hearing about all of this for the first time right now.
Yeah. Big Brandon asked rating on this is a 4 all day for me. This is a highly rated one. Yes. Home gym con. We're also going to have a special crew visitor to join us for a little bit on this episode to give us some of his expert opinion, but it's a secret still as to which Massenomics crew member that is. We are pulling the Pawn Stars move of let me bring in an expert. Yeah, we got a guy. Luckily, we got a guy. Place your guesses for those listening along live now. Place your guesses at who you think it might be. You probably won't get it right. I'm already seeing the most common wrong guesses are in there, so nobody knows yet. So Home Gym Con 2025. Yeah, Tommy, you go ahead and stop me anywhere you feel like stopping.
Yeah, I'll just
me,
ask
but,
questions as you go because I'm going to have a lot.
So I don't know if you know this, but you weren't able to come, so it was just me this year. So it was a very unique Massenomics trip. Yeah. I don't know if we've ever done a Massenomics content trip or anything like that.
We have. Also, did we talk about in the podcast last week that almost last second I thought about coming? I had looked at plane tickets.
I told a few people that story.
Okay, like,
too,
and it would have been like I would have been there for less than 24 hours. It would have been an insanely quick trip. And then my wife kind of gave me the thing of, if any of that doesn't go perfectly and I got to do this whole thing without you, I'm going to be very annoyed. And I don't blame her.
That's what I told people in a way of telling them, like, no, Tommy definitely wanted to come.
Oh, I was looking very hard right until the very end.
Yeah,
and my wife's like, you know how like you're always busy and working and we don't ever get alone time or do anything? Like, really? You're gonna take that away too? I'm like, okay, you got a point.
Yeah. So I did fly in solo. I flew out of Aberdeen. I went from Aberdeen to Minneapolis to Louisville. Got to Louisville.
And the important part was
noon.
The flights went off without a hitch,
Perfect.
right?
Perfection. No issues whatsoever, thankfully, because had there been like a major delay, it would have been like, all right, just turn around because I have no time now to be there. It's just
gone. Yeah.
Yeah, I got there, landed in Louisville about noon, which is where we flew into last year also, I believe, right?
Oh, yeah, actually, yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Denver to Louisville, like everyone does.
Of course. Sioux Falls to Denver to Louisville. Yeah. So I was in Louisville by noon that day. Flying out of Aberdeen was pretty sweet because I didn't have to drive but 10 minutes from my house. So that was nice. And the Aberdeen airport is so easy to fly through. And, the best part, Big Megan was working at the counter.
I didn't know if this was
have
real
a
or
seat
not.
assigned. Yeah, I didn't have a seat assigned. And she's like, I'll make sure you get a good seat. So I don't know if she could do it for my next flight also, but I was in Comfort Plus for both of my flights that day.
That's awesome.
So I guess it's true what they say. Sometimes it's not what you know, it is who you know.
Exactly.
Big Megan Effenston E with the big hookup on that one. Got there at about noon, and we had recruited Big Mini Action Jesus, supporting crew member, often seen at the Arnold with us, or often seen as the guy in charge of the live stream for the Lift Hard Live Easy Classic in 2024. And he picked me up, him and Rachel picked me up from the airport, and we drove right to Home Gym Con. I didn't check in my hotel. I got my bag, walked in and set it down, and I'll go a little further forward and then a little bit back, but we sat down and started working immediately.
Did you? Okay.
Filming,
so there wasn't let's hang out for an hour or two and get a feel for it. You guys got right to it.
Like I walked around just enough to be able to have an idea of like where to even go. And because I was very nervous the whole time about the timeline, just because there was not that much time. By the time we got there, it was probably 1 p.m. By the time we got parked and got in there and everything, it's probably 1. And they said it was open until 6. So that means we have 5 hours. And luckily I had that attitude that we did, because had we not, we never would have got anything done, like is the way it would have went. And so our goal was Tommy and I had made a lengthy plan beforehand of which booths we were targeted of trying to get to and how we're going to divide that into 3 videos, which we're still in the process of doing that. We're recording this on Sunday. I just got home last night at 10 p.m. and we're recording this the next day. So this is all kind of live action playback of what's going on. But when we were walking in, Minnie and I, we didn't know where the frick we were going. We like walked around this building and finally came inside, and I think we came in from the back, but it was just interesting that the first person we saw as we're walking up some stairs, walking down the other way, is Coop coming.
Yeah.
And I go, and before he even saw us, Minnie goes, "Hey, it's Coop." And I go, and then so I gave him the Coop from Garage Gym Reviews, and we stopped and talked to Coop for a little bit, and he was actually on his way out. That's all the longer he was that could be there. We kind of traded
He punched out, you punched in.
Yeah, he punched
Started
out,
your
we
shift.
punched in. Yeah, so Coop was there this year. That was a big controversy last year that he hadn't been there, and everyone, I guess, should be happy that Coop was there. to me, it felt pretty much the same, I guess, overall, whether Hoop was there or not. So I guess I don't care either way. Overall, I'm happy he came because seems to be
more
important
eyes
to a lot of people.
more eyes at Home Gym Con, I think is a win.
Yep. Then, like I said, we got in there and Barbell Rescue was nice enough to let me set my bag there, and we pretty much got recording for the most part. That was the plan, and Minnie did a great job. You know, you saw his setup.
Yeah,
but,
it's like official. When I see Minnie set up, I'm like, oh, I'm just walking around with a toy camera.
Yeah, nobody had a bigger cameraman than Massenomics. We had by far the biggest cameraman.
You gotta
there.
go big.
I don't know that any other content creators could have outlifted us.
I would really like to know who that is if there is one.
I mean, Mark's not a content creator. Mark Rosenberg isn't a content creator.
He's not there for that reason.
Yeah. So I don't know. So I don't know what overall first impressions were. So much bigger. It's so much bigger.
So the venue. Not only was the venue actually bigger, it did feel significantly bigger. Like it
felt way bigger. It felt way different. Not only was the size of it larger, but it just didn't even feel like the same thing to me. Like the overall feel of it,
just felt more legit, more official.
Yeah, it just was like, at Home Gym Con last year, it would have almost been impossible to miss a booth.
Oh yes, yeah.
Because you would just do this like
little
serpentine.
Yep.
And you saw the entire thing.
Yeah.
And you probably walked by the same booth 4,000 times because that's really all you could do was this one little S serpentine, and you literally walk by every booth. Well, this one had the effect like the first time you go to the Arnold and you don't know the layout.
Right.
You're like,
how do I ever see all this?
Yeah, and it's like, have I been down that aisle or not? Like have I what is that? Like, have I looked at that booth before? Like you've been there for like 4 hours and you walk by something, you're like, oh, we never really made it this far. So that alone was just a way different factor to the size, and then way more room for the competitions.
Right.
And I noticed
like there was
that way more competitions going on.
Yes, it looked like the competitions had a lot of area because last year, they were definitely packed in there, and it looked like there was kind of unlimited area for competitors this year. Yeah,
and I feel like I didn't pay much thought to it in prior years. I feel like the competitions are important to the event. I feel like the competitions are one of the gateways to this really growing significantly.
I could see that for sure, especially because there's such a wide variety of competitions.
Yeah,
it's not just a powerlifting meet or just a strongman meet. There's all of this other stuff where you get these different enthusiasts involved.
Yeah. And it does bring in more people, but to me, more important than anything is the vibe element of it, where I'm like, oh, it feels like a little Arnold. Like there's just stuff, you just walk around and there's just
the excitement,
things going on. I'm like, I just walked by like 3 competitions that going on at once. And I'm like, even if I'm not all that particularly vested in any of them, it doesn't matter because I just walk through it and I'm like, wow, things are happening in here.
Yeah.
It's just like,
I think I never thought of that. I think that is a really important part of the dynamic is you can walk by one booth and it might just be like a small creator and they're just chilling and hanging out. And then you walk over and there's a competition. There's like people like going for PRs, going crazy and people freaking out. And it's like, oh yeah, there's a lot of shit happening right now. And that actually is a really cool way to bring the energy.
Super cool as far as that goes. So kudos to everyone that's, running those elements of it. So that's my first point is overall the vibe was way cooler. It was just bigger, better, and the vibes were improving. And I feel like the momentum is going strong at this point that I expect 2026 to even outpace this one, I would assume. Yeah, right. So overall, really well done. And there's just elements of that seemed really cool, I think.
Yeah. Okay, so venue, check, improvement. Booths. Okay, do we want to talk about booths yet, or do we want to talk about just all the people you ran into?
Yeah, so maybe we'll talk some about the people that we ran into. Here's my thing on Massenomics I didn't anticipate the presence that Massenomics would have there this year. Like I felt like Massenomics had a little bit of a presence there last year. There were several
like
crew members there. We were there.
A handful of people we knew or had worked with before, and then a few people that knew who we were.
Right. This year, I'll even go down. I've got part of the list here. I'll go down just like I put a list together of names. I've got at least 40 Massenomics supporting members that were there, and a lot of them
wild,
running a lot of stuff there, like in charge of a lot of things going on there. So that's part of it. And then apparel wise, I notice it, so I'm very attuned to it. But there was so much Massenomics merchandise walking around at Home Gym Con.
I got that impression just from all the photos. Yeah. Like it was like a Massenomics fashion show,
which was awesome, of course. And then the other thing, the number of people that came up to say, which this is the best part. I want to make sure I'm phrasing this in a way that people understand. Like the best part was the number of people that came up to talk about Massenomics, to say, hey, I'm a supporting member, or hey, I'm a certified training facility, or hey, I watch the YouTube, or I listen to the podcast, or I just really like what you guys are doing for the community, or even like, what do I know you from? Like the number of people that came up and stopped. Well, I've never been to anything where it's been like this before. So we're doing something right at this point. It was actually a little hard to get our recording done because so many, it was hard to go. I'm not saying we're getting mobbed by people, but there was just always a person. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like there was 100 people trying to get you, but there just always was the next person that,
wanted to say what's up, or
someone that we already know really well, or someone that we know a little bit, or someone we've never met before. And it's important to me to do that. Like I said, that's still is the best part of going.
Yes.
So I'm not just going to be like, oh, hey, we'll get you later. I'm not going to miss out on those. But I was a little bit shocked at the presence. And you had mentioned that even, because of what we've done with Home Gym Tours, specifically on YouTube.
Yeah, before we left, I made the comment to you. I was like, God, last year, we got the Massenomics crew, and we know some people in the home gym space, but it was relatively new to us. And now, when we started going through the list, I'm like, well, we've done videos with this person. We've talked to this person so many times. We've hung out with this person. I'm like, I think, Tanner, you're going to have a pretty warm reception when you go this year.
And I had never thought about it until you said that. And then it very much was the case, which was pretty awesome.
Well, and some of these people, it's wild to think we've really only known them about a year or so, because it feels like we've known them forever,
Right. We definitely have a strong position in the community, really well received. I'm sure there's some people that were there that were probably annoyed by us or something that I didn't get to talk to, but there's an overwhelming, really positive response about Massenomics. And talking about certified training facilities, or talking about horse stall mat coasters, or just wanting to talk about horse stall mats in general, or whatever whatever
kind of the finer points of gym
number
culture.
Of cottage cheese comments. Also, the number of wool and Tommy's hair comments I got. Wool and Tommy's hair is going off like wildfire right now.
Like wool in the hair, you could say.
Yeah. I guess it helps that we have the best gym tours out of anyone.
Right. Yeah. I don't know if there's anyone that puts the spotlight on the community more than us.
And I don't, if we don't have more than anyone else now, we're going to just stick around, and it won't be
just
long
a matter of time.
So that was a big part of it, was just the Massenomics reception, that I'm like, holy cow. What do we got here? Okay. I wanted to pull up the list of crew. I think it's kind of like a worthwhile time of throwing out. So this is quasi supporting our supporting member section of the podcast right here. So I'll just even say, okay, so this is going to be our supporting member section of the podcast. And that's a relatively new segment of the podcast. I'm just finding my list because I made this list, and this is not comprehensive. I'm pretty sure I missed probably 20 people on this list that are supporting members that were at Home Gym Con in some way, shape, form, or capacities. But I've got at least 40 here that I know of that were there. So shout out to all of these people. Shout out to everyone that's a supporting member and helps keep this thing going. If you're listening, if Home Gym Con was your first ever exposure to Massenomics, now you're listening to this podcast episode, we would love to have you join and become a supporting member. Part of it is just, we'll talk about it too, just like the supporting member hangouts that we did all weekend long. It's like, you won't go to this event and not have friends to hang out with.
Oh, it was like,
because
it just felt like it was an official, oh, I shouldn't even say unofficial. It felt like it was an actual official Massenomics meetup, all the photos I was seeing afterwards.
Yes. Okay. So Jake, he runs the whole thing, obviously, supporting member. All these people are supporting members. Ashton had a booth, Freedom Fitness Equipment. Kim, Barbell Rescue, had a booth. Belt-fed Chris has a booth. Darko booth. Kurt Locker is the strongman director. Vintage Weights Rob, the grip challenge guy, in charge of the grip challenge event. Big Brandon was a strongman volunteer. Big Hogan competed in the strongman. Big Debo competed in the grip competition. Big Joey was there. Big Nick and Big Clayton. Big Clayton, the youngest Massenomics supporter that exists. Now officially a Massenomics supporting member.
Hell yeah.
Big Clayton was there. We got to talk to Big Clayton for quite a while. He did some deadlifting there at one of the booths we were at when we were hanging out, and he got a Keith's head sticker even. Big Senator's butt was new. He was a Home Gym Con 2025 recruit. He got recruited at Home Gym Con. He joined up. Big Minnie was the cameraman. Big Keith was there. Podcaster Big Keith, of course. Big Robo was there. Big El Pinche was a strongman volunteer. Big Rory had a booth and competed in the strongman competition. He was running back and forth where he was running his booth, and then when he had to compete, he was Big Rory's looking jacked too. I think he did pretty well in the strongman competition. Also,
the same thing.
I don't have the results of everyone how they did. I know I said Big Hogan. He got second place.
Okay.
In his
strong showing
in his strongman weight division. Keith says Rory got third. Big Dan with the arm tattoos had a booth and also ran a competition, both. Big Skinny Jose, the original supporting member Jose. I got to meet Jose for the first time. He was there. Not Big Jeff was there. Big Anand, got to meet him for the first time. He had a home gym tour with Carp a little while back.
Yep.
Big Monty was there on his crutch. Big Andrew Montoya. Big Dr. Tatty Waffles was there. So I got to see Dr. Tatty Waffles after got to recap a lot of home gym tours with these people.
I was going to say,
too.
did you tell him congrats on the banging home gym
Yeah,
tour?
I talked to everyone that I could about their home gym tours that we've got with them, how they're doing and stuff, and thank them again for doing it with us. Big Coach Carp was there, obviously. Big Buzz was there. I don't know if you saw Buzz in any of the pictures, but he was there with his wife. Big Kyle Kaizen, obviously. Big Estep, I think that's Big Ryan. Big Nicole was the lizard keeper and strongman supporter.
Yep.
Big Jakey, got to meet Jakey for the first time. I had just listened to his episode on Unpaid and Underrated, so I got to just meet him there then. Big Eddie, none other than the infamous Big Edward, was there. He was competing in the Grimp competition, and he was Scant's handler all weekend.
Naturally.
Big Derek Cross was there. I think he was helping with the strongman. Big Home Gym Hub was there, supporting member. Big Man Who Parks in Gym was there getting content. Big Eric Eccles was there. Told him be on the lookout for a
Midwest tour.
A certified training facility tour coming his way. Big Anderson Hurt Locker certified training facility. He and his wife were there. Got to meet both of them for the first time. Big Matthew, Big Matthew was there, and M Plate. I walked by this booth, and the guy said something, and I was like, "Oh, hey, I thought he was just saying hi or something." He goes, "Oh yeah, I'm a supporting member," and I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm a supporting member," and I was like, "Oh, he's like, I'm pretty new, and are you familiar with M Plate at all?"
In the Discord, M Plate?
No, that's the name of his company. That's the name of his booth. So what he makes is, it's like the letter M and then plate. It's Big Matt. He makes fractional weight plates specifically for the different kinds of adjustable dumbbells.
Yeah, I'm looking at this right now. I don't think I've ever seen this before.
Yeah, I had never seen it before, and I probably like I would have just walked by and never noticed it had he not. He's like, oh yeah, you said we're supposed to stop. You know, we're supposed to say hi if we're a supporting member. And I was like, oh, you're a supporting member? I didn't know that. I'm like, I don't even know about this company. You should mention it in the Discord or something that you've got this going on. So I stopped and talked to him for a while. And yeah, he said he's a fairly new supporting member.
Interesting. Yeah, never heard of them. Just looking at their products right now.
Yeah. That is the list of crew that I had down.
Whew.
I'm not even lying when I'm probably missing 20. There probably was 60 Massenomics supporting members there.
That's crazy. That's a lot. That is a lot.
Yeah.
Outside of the Lift Hard Live Easy Classic, that has to be the biggest gathering ever. Right?
I would say, yeah, I don't know that the Arnold's there's never been over 50 supporting members at the Arnold before.
No.
Yeah, Crew Falls Crew Falls was pretty big this year.
It's big, but I don't think it's that big.
There was probably 30 people at Crew Falls, right? Or 30 some maybe.
Yeah, in that ballpark. Yeah, 30 to 40.
So yeah, probably besides the Lift Hard Live Easy Classic, the largest gathering so far of supporting members.
Wow.
Yeah. Talking supporting member or, the crew meet up there. So we went out Friday evening.
Yeah. Okay. So did you do the official dinner thing or did you guys just go out?
So like Keith and I and a couple other people, we had stopped at that thing, but it wasn't a dinner this year. It was just kind of
That's right. Yes. I forgot they changed up the format.
Drinks.
Yep.
And I didn't even eat lunch. Like when I say we landed at noon and went to home Gym Con, I hadn't eaten and I ate breakfast at like 4:30 in the morning to go to so I had not eaten food or almost even drank water since 5 a.m. So when 7 p.m. came, I'm like, yeah, I can't not eat food now. So then the crew was having a meetup at Smash Burger just to walk down the road. And Kurt and George Green. I didn't mention George Green in that list.
I saw George in the pictures.
George Green was there also. So George and Kurt, and we started walking towards Smash Burger. And I swear every intersection we got to, one more Massenomics person in a Massenomics t-shirt just came around the corner.
Appeared.
Like by the time we got there was like 14 of us and we left with 4. It just was, it was kind of crazy. And we probably stayed in Smash Burger for 2 hours.
Well, yeah,
until they
of
kicked us
course.
out, And there's maybe just about 20 of us in there and it was a lot of fun. I ordered 2 sandwiches and no sides and drank about 40 glasses of water.
I can picture that.
Yeah. And it was, we ate, I think we kind of ate them out of food at one point in time. So we got through and ate and Kurt and a group of them were right behind us in line, but they had to stay in line like 30 minutes after we got, like, I think
they were
finished
out
eating
of rations.
Yeah. Yes. So then we went back to the meet and greet thing after that.
Okay.
And it had like way trickled out. And then it was pretty serious.
The real essentials there.
People were,
the riffraff was gone.
Yeah. People were buzzed. The people that were there by that point in time still were there to
the diehards.
Get down to business. And I just couldn't even say all the people, nice. Like Mike got to hang out with him quite a bit and Kyle and all the crew we mentioned. And then actually hung out quite a while with the ATX guys.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. So that Friday night I sat with them and they kept buying brewskis and I'm like, well, I guess I'll take a brewski.
I can't turn that down.
So I guess it's true what they say about the Germans and their brewskis, right?
They know a thing or two.
But I did really enjoy those guys. Flo, you remember Flo?
I remember Flo.
He's the man in charge and talked to him quite a bit. Few of the guys there don't speak any English whatsoever.
Okay.
But Flo and Marvin hung out with those 2 guys, and it was pretty fun.
Yeah, that's really cool.
So that was kind of the activities, and then Saturday was back in the morning, and then back to recording immediately. We kind of finished up the videos 1 and 2, sort of. There might have been a little overlap there. So YouTube videos 1 and 2 on Friday, and then Saturday morning the goal is to get through YouTube. Get YouTube video 3, which basically we interviewed a whole bunch of people at all these booths and we just separated into 3 videos. Like all videos are the similar format.
Yeah,
it's just separated into 3 different groups.
Right. Yep. Just
So we
titled.
can add-
It's
'cause
the
it'd be a
same type
friggin'
of video, just
3-hour-long
titled
video.
differently.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Equipment wise, what time? I wonder if we should get our special guest on to talk some equipment.
Yeah, maybe before it gets too late here. So
Yeah.
do we want should we read an ad and do we want to keep everyone else in?
Yeah. Yeah. Should we read an ad and then kick everyone off?
That's okay.
So they don't
that's what
know
I'm
who
saying.
the secret guest is.
Okay. Yes, I like that. Yeah. I'll start booting people.
So they won't know who the secret guest
They'll have
is.
to stay
until this
tuned for a
episode.
whole week.
So, this episode does not come out for a week from
Yeah.
today. Actually, does it? Yeah. So all the live listeners, which we've got a decent crew in there. Yeah, I like that idea.
All right.
And I told him to keep it a secret also. So
Okay.
should I read a
Yeah, you can get going on your ad. I'll get this other.
Should we do a certified training facility though first? So
Do you want to this week, or do we have enough other stuff going on? I don't know. You tell me.
yeah, maybe we got enough other stuff here. We might run into a time constraint.
Yeah.
Actually, if we go
Just to keep things going along.
we could always pop it in at the end if we wanted to.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to talk about Barefoot Shoes because, well, Barefoot Shoes had a booth there. You actually catch them in one of our YouTube videos that's coming out as well. Of course, we hung out with the Barefoot Shoes group as we always do. They're our buddies. Ryan and Shelby were both there, and they had their usual booth set up. It always looks top notch, and seemed like business was going really well for them. And I was keeping my eyes on the inventory pretty good. I always like to see what new stuff they've got. They had some of the Patriot boot there.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen that one yet in person.
It looks really good in person. I don't think you can, purchase and get a Patriot right now, but they're working on some big things where I think that's going to become more readily available. Their American made boot. But the other ones that you can get that I really liked were the all white Ursus Gen 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I really liked the high top version of the all white Ursus Gen 2. I feel like that's really cool. All my Barefoot shoes have been black pretty much. And I'd be nervous about the white, about like keeping it as white as it is. But at least when it's new, that looks freaking sweet.
Yes, it
the
does.
all white
They look
version
really
one
cool.
looks really cool. So check out that Ursus Gen 2 in the Arctic white or whatever that's called. And then they had the Ozo there too, which is that slip on where we'll talk to Ryan about the Ozo quite a bit. And I think to me, what's interesting is it's almost like a dress shoe for people that don't really want to have to wear dress shoes.
Yeah.
Like you can get by as wearing that as a dress shoe, and you don't want to like wear your standard black dress shoe. Like if you were at somewhere where you worked where it's a certain dress code, you could wear the Ozo, I think, and people would not
get away with it. Yeah.
Yeah, people wouldn't know. They'd be like, "Oh, he's wearing black dress shoes."
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's the cool part there. But check them out, Barefoot Store. We have a discount code there. Is that Massenomics for 10% off?
Yep.
10% off. Sweet.
This episode is also brought to you by Juggernaut AI. Juggernaut AI is my favorite programming, and the programming that I've been running for 3-ish years now. Over that time, I've made a ton of progress. My lifting has gone great. My strength levels are up, and maybe most importantly, I'm having a ton of fun doing it too. Juggernaut likes to block out your training in a phasic structure, from a hypertrophy block to a strength block to ending in a peaking block. And you pick the date, and it's going to build the program for you and create the proper number of blocks to give you the best program for your goals. It is an RPE-based system where you tell it how your lifts feel, and it's going to adapt and know you as time goes on and become a better program for your lifting, your lifestyle, and your training goals. Right now, if you go to juggernautai.app, you got to go to the website. You can use code Massenomics, and you can save 10% on the lifetime of your program. The important thing here is you have to do it through the website, juggernautai.app. Code Massenomics will save you. Get in there, get on it, and you will love it. Thank you, Juggernaut AI.
Well, it looks like you gave everyone else the boot already.
Mm-hmm.
So we can reveal our top secret crew guest. We had to phone in an expert for this one. So we're bringing on none other than Big Joey E, who is at Home Gym Con and will actually be featured in one of the YouTube videos that we have coming out this week as well. You'll get to see Big Joey help run us through the Rogue Fitness booth, which that part of it's pretty cool. All right, Big Joey, how goes it? Long time no see, am I right?
Long time. It's been a while.
Stain said it best, didn't they? Let me see.
It's been a while.
There we
It
go.
has not been 1 week, so we'll not be hearing from the Bare Naked Ladies on this one.
Joey, for me, it's actually been a long time no see, so good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you, Tommy.
Joey, I was just saying when we were getting you on that you helped run through the Rogue Fitness booth with us, and I was telling Tommy before we started recording, I swear, I bet there wasn't someone there from Rogue that knew as much about their equipment as you did.
I mean, they don't call me Bill H for nothing.
Oh, you didn't know Bill Henninger's is your brother. Yeah. But that's why I'm like, yeah, we should get Joey on to talk equipment. So we've been talking home gym con, as you heard, but we haven't really talked what a lot of people like to talk about at a home gym. We've talked about everything but the central topic of home gym con is the equipment. So we bring you on and probably talk a little bit more equipment. I don't know. Let's start this way. It's hard to pick favorites, but what was your top few booths that you were most impressed with this year, or what really caught your eye in 2025 Home Gym Con?
Yeah, I think my top two were probably ATX and Temple of Gains. You did an episode on specialty machines in the home gym not that long ago, and both of them have a ton of specialty machines, and it's just starting to creep into everything. I got to try a bunch of them out. That multi-flight that Kaizen has felt great at the Temple of Gains booth. I got to try out a pendulum squat at both booths. Those both felt really good. I didn't try it out, but I saw the quad send at Temple of Gains. That one might be a little big for most home gyms, but it looks incredible.
It is big. The quad send is big. It could be like a Massenomics gym piece of equipment. To be tricky for a lot of home gyms, probably, though. You mentioned the pendulum squats at ATX and Temple of Gains. Did you check out the pendulum squat that Prime Fitness was showing off at theirs?
Yeah, I
Theirs was
tried
new,
that one too. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
another really good one.
So this is a hot announcement alert. Massenomics is bringing home the ATX pendulum squat that so many people fell in love with there this weekend. I loved bragging to people like, well, actually we're getting that pendulum squat, so you won't be getting it. But shout out to Big Hogan. Big Hogan this morning, Sunday morning, went and picked that up for me. He took it back to, it's probably in Ohio as we speak right now. And then Hogan is bringing that to the Lift Hard Live Easy Classic.
That's
in
how
about
it's
3
doing
weeks.
it, huh?
Yep.
Wow.
ATX disassembled it Saturday night, and they said, hey, it's taken apart. And Hogan, because Hogan has a pickup, but it's kind of a smaller bed. It's like a 5-foot bed pickup. So it fit. Hogan sent me a picture. I'll share that later, but it fit in there. It takes up some real estate, but he got it in there, and he's bringing it this summer. And that belt squat is pretty sweet, the pendulum belt squat. That pendulum squat is a pretty sweet piece of equipment. I am excited about that.
Yeah, you really lucked out on that one.
Yes, but the other thing that I really liked at that booth, which I was telling Flo that we need to get our hands on that also, is the thing that was number 2 on our list is that standing chest press.
That looked cool. I saw some videos of that. It wasn't the real deal. It was good.
It was really cool, and the way it adjusted, both vertically and the way that the handles adjust, like I would say like 180 degrees, like where you can put the hand like.
So you can change the actual grip positioning, you're saying?
Yeah. The grips will rotate in an arc, I guess is what you would say. And then same with the pendulum squat and basically all their equipment, the way they have it set up to be banded also for like the strength curve aspect of it is pretty sweet. I also tested out the Prime one, or I did test out the Prime one, I think, and we did a video with Prime and we cover that one, and to be fair, theirs was also very nice. And I don't think I used the Temple of Gains one. When we shot with him, we talked a lot about the quad send, so we didn't talk as much about some of the other pieces that he has. So
Of those three, I think the Temple of Gains I actually like the feel of the best.
okay, and that's weird because I mean that's totally normal. What I would say is with those pieces of equipment, it's weird how that is true to people where it's just like I don't know what to even tell you. This one just feels good. It's like a hack squat where you're like, I don't know why, but that one to me just feels good.
Yep,
And
exactly.
that can certainly be like that. So I agree with you. ATX was pretty sweet. Temple of Gains was pretty sweet. What was your favorite single new piece of equipment that you saw there?
My favorite single new piece was the dialed motion leg developer. Goes on to almost any bench with a receiver port, pretty much it's going to be on day one. And then they're working on a universal adapter. It only weighs 35 pounds. It was shockingly light, so you could easily move it. And they had integrated storage to put it either on the rack or on the wall when you're not using it. And it can do seated leg extensions, prone leg curls, seated leg curls, and preacher curls.
Yeah, and this was one piece that when I was seeing I feel like there was a lot of content going out on social media about this one, and yeah, I kind of I pay attention to what's going on, so I kind of had the idea that this was coming, but when I saw it in use, I was really impressed. I thought it looked really cool, so I was curious to hear your guys' input if it really did feel like the real deal, or if it seemed like there was some gaps or any issues with it.
Overall, it felt really solid. Once you had that locked into whatever cable stack you hook it up to, it felt almost as good as a commercial machine, but with just way less footprint.
That's awesome. Yeah, and I do like that cable, the fact that you can hook it to a cable stack too, instead of having to load weights onto a weight horn or something like that. Okay.
Yep.
I'm really glad you brought that one up. We did a video with them. It's the two brothers not from there, but they're out of San Francisco, and engineers, or at least one of them's an engineer. The other one's maybe quasi-engineer. I don't know I can't remember exactly, but what I would say, not surprising me after we had seen the dialed motion, what's the original thing? What's the
like the
product called?
IBEX or
the
the
retractor.
IBEX or the
cable
retractor.
retractor.
We've been Tommy and I, we've been very impressed with that as we've seen it throughout all these home gym tours that we've been doing. And after talking to them, I just have a strong feeling that everything that they make is going to be awesome. Like, I just think that they have really good minds for what they're doing, and they've been the products that they have come out with or are coming out with now are executed really well. And I just feel like they are poised to make a lot of really cool stuff. And they are just like their biggest limitation. They are literally just a 2-man show doing stuff like that. Like, I think maybe I'll be curious at some point in time what happens there, in the sense that
As far
there's
as
probably
scaling.
some really big companies that would really like to be working more with them, or even like
Acquiring.
owning
Yeah.
some of what they got going on. I could totally see that sort of thing. Like, if I was Rogue Fitness, I would be figuring out what I can possibly do to have those two guys now be Rogue
them.
Fitness equipment, and for them to be like, how much do we have to pay you? Like, let's start talking about it. Like, that's my take on it after talking to those two guys.
And that's one thing that stood out to me with them, is after going through to a few home gym tours and spending a little bit of time on their website and everything, is the way I understand it, what you kind of said there, Tanner, for my understanding, them being basically a 2-man team, their level of polish, not only from like their product, but like their marketing and website and all that. I'm like, there's a lot of companies that are way bigger than you guys and have whole teams of people that aren't doing it as good as you guys. So I don't know how they're pulling that off, but I have been impressed watching from afar.
A big thing with them is also their packaging. I bought one of their cable retractors, and you would have swore it was like an Apple product.
Okay, it is the
That
Apple
is
unboxing
perfect.
experience.
Yep.
That's really cool.
I just feel like they've got stuff down. I feel like there's something they got a good recipe there for some big success, I think.
Okay, so Tanner, you said or you were asking Joey. So you asked Joey one of his favorite products. What stood out to you as one of your top products, Tanner?
Well, nice. Like Mike, came around and asked me a few questions, and that was one of them. And this was fairly early on, so I hadn't got a chance to look at everything yet. But my answer to him was, the pendulum squat from ATX because
okay,
I'm
yeah.
getting, because I was somewhat enamored with it because I knew I was getting it. So I was paying I was particularly paying close attention to it. What I would say, I really was, after seeing that standing chest press, I'm like, God, maybe this is what I wanted, like why, maybe this should have been number one. So I was actually like most impressed by the standing chest press because I just really started to feel like I want this. And I didn't really know I wanted this that bad.
So you could see that Massenomics gym someday.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I would just be surprised if that's not in Massenomics gym someday. So, I mean, I know they're still not, it's not, also according to Flo, it's going to be by Q4 that ATX is available in the United States, I think.
Okay.
And after talking to, I don't know that we really talked about all this on camera, and I don't feel like this isn't giving away anything secret here, but the tariff thing really slowed him down. I feel like if it was not for that, they would be already. But he said this to me multiple times. It's not that there is tariffs, or it's not that the tariffs are high. He's like, if there's 55% tariffs and that's what we know, that's fine. We can work with whatever the tariff
They just
is.
got to know what the number is.
So, right. And then he's like, what we can't do is have this grand plan and be completely uncertain of what's going to, he's like, there has to be stability.
Yeah, because when you buy it, and by the time it actually gets to the port, and now all of a sudden, instead of it being a 10% tariff, it's a 50% tariff. Like, that kind of changes your business model.
Right. And he said, we can't come to market, maybe. And he's also like, if we're already established, that's a hurdle we can cross as a thing we're doing, but we can't start with that being our starting thing. And we can't have to raise prices by 50%. It's just like, yeah, that was his point that I thought was interesting. It's not the amount of the tariff he's even worried about. He just needs it to be kind of level set before they take that jump. So to answer something that's not ATX, not talking about as much, but I also just really, really enjoy all the smaller creators, particularly like the crew and stuff like that. I thought Rory was doing some really cool stuff. I really like his handles. I don't know if you looked at him, Joey, that he had them set up on the rack, but they freely rotate. Like, I don't know if that has a bearing in it or whatever it was, but you could like drop it, and I told him what it reminds me of is you have like a fidgety thing on your office desk that like just stays in continual motion. So Rory kind of had some cool stuff going on there. Darko had a new mount for the Vultra where has the hook, the second hook on it, so that you're just to easily take advantage of the doubling the resistance by hooking it back to it.
Oh, gotcha.
I thought that was kind of an intelligent little idea based on the hacks that we've started to see people take more. To come back to a bigger piece of equipment, what's that? Is it VTS? Is that thing that attaches to racks?
Yeah, bulletproof.
Bulletproof.
Yep.
That's kind of wild. It's really cool. I just don't know, practically speaking, for most people, if it's the right option or not, but it was just cool to see in person, I guess, is one thing I'd say about that VTS setup and like what you can do with that. There's a lot of moving parts on that thing. Like a lot of it was really interesting to see that in person. I don't think it's for me necessarily. I guess that's my general. I'm probably missing 20 different things.
Okay, so Joey, what did he miss, Joey? What else is good there? I gotta hear from you.
Else. I'll riff off something that you say too.
Another really good one was right next to Rory at Vendetta Strength. He had a new dip attachment concept where it can pivot in and out, so you can change the angle that your arms are kind of spread this way, but you can also pivot it down or up if you want to change the angle that way. And it can store easily on the upright, and you can either buy it with his handles, or you can use like Mutant Metals or any of the other handles that are out there. It just looks really well done, really polished. And he's coming out with that and a bunch of other products soon, which is pretty exciting. And then another one that surprised me was the Quantum Free Trainer. It's pretty much like a dedicated lever arm station. Not that dissimilar from like maybe a PowerTech lever gym, but way more modernized because it's built on like 11 gauge steel, 3x3 tubing. It's got the 1-inch holes. You can set the height of the lever arms. They fully articulate so they can move in any direction, but they even have this neat attachment where you put essentially like a barbell shaft and it hooks into both lever arms so you can do squat, you can do deadlift with it, you can do like a barbell bench with it. And it even has another lever arm in the center that comes down so you can do like lat pull downs and stuff like that. That was something that when I saw pictures of it, I was like, oh, this is doing too much. This is going to be ridiculous. And then once they were walking me through it, I was like, oh, this is actually pretty cool.
Interesting, because that was one when I had never heard of them. And when Tanner and I were running through the list, I looked at him like, I actually can't tell. Like, there's so much going on here. Like, that's actually probably the biggest hurdle that product faces is it's unlike anything you've seen before. And there's just a lot there. So, okay, that's interesting to hear that you think there's some potential there.
I thought of something else now that you did help me out. So one little thing, the torque guy was on my flight, and they were kind of partnered up with PRX. So they're in PRX booth. But what Torque showed off was their new M1 tank that has the swiveling wheels on the back of it. And that is such an improvement because I have the existing, and that's what I've always said. I'm like, well, yeah, every time you turn it around, it's a giant pain in the ass because you got to like literally like flip it up. And the new M1 tank, it also looks like the Batmobile.
Oh yeah.
Like it makes mine look like a toy compared to what the new M1 tank looks like. So that thing is really sweet. And it's actually just it's functionally considerably better. Like if you're a tank user or want to be, and I think it's just going to be different price points. Like the one I have now will be more of a, entry level price point. And that thing is probably going to be several $100s more expensive. And I can kind of see why, but that's pretty sweet. But we're at the PRX booth, and I was going to say PRX. It was interesting to me. So last year, PRX, right after Home Gym Con, is when everything blew up with the jammer arms, and they had a lot of bad PR, and they have a lot of different people there now. And I got to say, their whole thing has changed so much in this 1 year, where they had this perception actually like less than a year ago now, or right at a year ago, that was so negative in the community, and they weren't doing collaborating. And it was like, they were all, kind of possibly ripping off ideas from other people. And now the number of things in their booth where they're collaborating with someone else, they have Rory's handles on the Halo arms. Like that's an option you can get through their site, is getting Rory's handles. They have Kyle's, his smaller arms. I don't know, Joey, you might remember. It's like,
Yeah, it's like their Build Limitless. No, maybe their Profile series arm.
yeah, I think it's Profile.
Yeah.
See, I knew you'd know, Joey. You know the name of every piece of equipment from every. Yeah, it's like their Profile arms with Kyle, and then the Sidewinder dialed motion that they have special for I was really impressed with the Sidewinder dialed motion setup that they have that's specific for their PRX, the flip up rack. And there's some special design items that make it work really well with that flip up rack. That is really cool. And also how they have the Sidewinder that it actually goes to the other upright of the rack. So that way, if you're sitting there doing whatever it is on that side of the rack, instead of being right there by your foot or almost like running into you, it's over on the other side of the rack away from you.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good idea.
But I would just say, like, I also really enjoyed the people working the PRX booth. And sometimes for me, that matters as much as anything. Is that here's an example. We get to be buddies with Grant at the Strength Co. I have a gym full of Strength Co. plates. Like if I like these people are cool, then it makes me want to buy their stuff. And last year PRX was probably fine. But this year, after going there and talking with those guys and running into them several times, I'm like, I want to own PRX stuff, is like what I see after watching what they're doing and, talking with them. And I have that feeling about multiple boosts there, but that's just one to call out specifically.
Yeah, I think that's a good one.
What else are we missing, Joey? Any other equipment? Okay. You did the Rogue tour for us. You sat in because they won't. And there again, I think you did better than they would have anyways, but I thought that the Rogue booth this year compared to last year, the Rogue booth was still very good this year, and it was, there's not many booths there that were bigger, better, whatever than the Rogue booth, but I don't think their booth was as good this year as it was last year. Or what do you think about that?
Yeah, so last year their booth was definitely a lot more ostentatious. I mean, they literally
Right.
like built a wall for one section of their booth. And they had, two of their prototype functional track or functional trainer racks. Uh but they also had a lot of their Monster Cave system. They had their LP2, their CT1 cable columns, which those have been around for a while, but they're just
Right.
very impressive to see in person. Whereas this year they brought pretty much all of their different functional trainer racks, and it just shows you how many different options they have now. It's really hard to keep up if you're not just watching it every single day.
You
That's
still
what
know them all though, Joey.
that's honestly
You
the
still
the
know
thing
'em.
I and I'm not in the market for functional trainers, so I haven't studied this that hard, but I have the hardest time keeping straight the different Rogue and Rep series that they have for their functional train. There's so many of them. It's so hard to keep them straight.
Yeah, and for as big as Rogue is, they love naming things with just like letters and numbers.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so it's not at all clear what it is unless you've already heard of it before. But they were doing one cool thing. I don't remember how much we touched on it in the tour. They had a bunch of these prototype handle frames, and then they had all these different handles that were like some were aluminum, some were steel, and they were different angles and different thicknesses. So what they were talking about at the booth that they want to do is kind of come out with a series of these, and it's all going to be like build your own handle. So if you prefer a thick grip on the outside, but you want like an angled grip on the inside, you'll be able to like mix and match that. And then on Saturday, I don't think they had this on Friday. On Saturday, they had a handle that was a paddle, kind of similar to a prime rotate handle or like the grip on a mag grip handle. And they were saying it was fresh from the 3D printer. Like they had just finished the design, printed them out, and just got a set to the convention so they could start showing it off. So if they're able to come out with that and come out with a good way for you to pick everything, I think that'll be really cool. And it makes a lot of sense since they're doing so much more with cable stuff. Attachments are like the next thing you buy after you buy either a cable tower or like a functional trainer rack.
So is this kind of riffing off sort of that CG thing, whatever, where you can like you'd be able to switch out your handles on that? Is that kind of the idea, or?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that was one of them. They just had like the frame and you could put the different handles on it. And they've been selling one where there's like multiple grips,
Yep.
but you can set the width, but it's all just straight handles. But now you're going to be able to do different angles. And
Okay.
with the aluminum handles, they're lightweight. So you don't run into the problem of like, oh, this is a cool attachment, but it weighs 15 pounds. And with the different angles, you can also just really customize it. And then the other thing they have is a bunch of different colors because they're all anodized aluminum.
Oh, okay.
So at the show, they had, I think, like just like a regular silver or gray, red, blue. I think on the site they also have pink and green. I was trying to talk them into purple. We'll see if that happens.
Yeah.
Keith was trying to get him to do orange,
Of
but
course,
I,
yes.
I heard he was just kind of hanging around their booth and getting in the way of
He
stuff.
was
I don't know if
lurking,
that's
a
true,
lot
though.
of lurking. Tommy, you might notice that when you're editing film. There's a lot of Keith lurking around the road.
That's Keith for you. Okay, so like when you're describing the colors and all that, that reminds me because I had just seen this. Is that similar then to what they're doing with the mutant metals, the arc attachment, where you can go in and pick all those different color? I mean, it really is like build your own lap pull down handles at this point because they have pick your length, pick your color, pick your angle. Like there's a lot you can pick on something like that.
Yeah, it's pretty much an extension of that. And it also reminds me a lot of what Matthew Porter's doing with Porter Phys Ed. He's
Yep.
got those Eclipse grips. Those are also aluminum. They come in, I think, four different colors. He's adding more. He was also speaking of another booth, but he was showing off a new tricep attachment that's got thick grip, independently rotating handles. So if you're doing a tricep push down, there is zero strain on your wrist. Like it just moves with your hand. Same thing with doing like bicep curls with it. that one feels incredible, and I think he launched a pre-order, so that's definitely one to check out.
All right, very cool.
At the Rogue booth, I think it was one of the ones we talked about in there too, though. The lap pull down machine is pretty. That thing is kind of a monster. And for example, if I was gonna someday replace my lap pull down machine and get something, that could certainly be on the list. If I'm kind of looking for something that's like biggest, I don't know if best is the right word, but just like this monster of a
Most
piece of
imposing.
equipment. Yeah, it was pretty cool. I mean, that thing is pretty cool. Also, along those lines, the functional trainer thing is very possible. They have a lot of different options there, and it is tough to outdo their, I would say, maybe like fit and finish on their stuff still, where I'm like, when you look at that stuff, it's really nice. It looks really nice and just like really well done. Like every element of it is what I kind of see. I mean, and maybe you know better than me, but that's kind of what I notice when I look at it.
No, I would agree with that. I mean, Rogue has the reputation of being overbuilt, which I think is true to a certain extent. Because I've got their twin stack and their trolley. It's just big, and so most of the time it works great. It looks great. Sometimes I'm a little bit shorter, so putting it all the way down, trying to do bicep curls on it doesn't really work great for me. If I was a little bit taller, it wouldn't be a
Like you're
problem.
saying, it doesn't get quite low enough because it's so big. Or
Yeah, just because it's so big. But on the flip side, they're like the smoothest cables. They're right up there with like Prime and these other premium brands as far as
Yeah.
like how smooth everything feels. And they definitely put a lot of engineering into which pulleys are a bigger diameter, which pulleys can be smaller. So they're not just like, buying off the shelf parts and saying like, oh, I can just slap this together. They're putting a lot of engineering and a lot of fit and finish into it.
One other equipment thing that it seems like it's become pretty popular over the last year is like the foreign made leg extension, leg curl combo machines. So Titan had theirs there. I used that one. That was the first time I got to try that one. Yoni had his at Temple of Gains. I'm sure there were some other ones. Did you try both of those? Like, did you try out some of those? What did you like the
Yeah.
best there? Like, which one felt the best to you?
I didn't get a chance to try Titans this year. I tried
Okay.
it last year when it was a prototype. I also tried the Bare Steel Equipment one. That one's very similar to the ones that people post buying like directly off of Alibaba and stuff
Where
like
it's like
that.
a 3x3 1 inch hole. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Bolt Fitness has one that I had tried last year. Rogue actually brought one. They brought their Reflex leg extension leg curl.
Which you
They
said you
were
can't really buy.
No, you can't buy it. I was asking like, okay, why'd you bring it if you're, if you're not planning to sell it? And it sounds like it's starting the process of designing one of their own that'll probably be more similar to the newer ones on the market where it can, ship disassembled, you put it together yourself, so it's easier to get into a home gym or a smaller gym and stuff like that. But of the ones I tried, I really liked the feel of Temple of Gains. I really liked the Bare Steel Equipment one. That one actually felt really good. Um, but I mean, there's just a ton of great options. But this is also a great reason to come to Home Gym Con because just being able to try them all, because sometimes you can't really pick what you like until you sit down, do a couple of reps, and actually see like, oh, this one lines up with my limb length or my levers or my leverages or whatever. You could read specs all day, you could watch reviews, but there's nothing beats just trying them out in person. I think if I was buying one, I might lean Temple of Gains, although I do like the idea of the 3x3 1 inch because then you can add attachments to it as well.
Yeah, that's good. Tommy, any other equipment questions?
Um, um, I mean, that's probably the majority. I guess. Was there anything else that stood out to you or surprised
Dean
you?
stuff
Or
looked really cool in person.
the what
Oh
did?
yeah, Dean stuff's always
Black
so good.
Widow.
Oh yeah.
Dean's he had a lot of that like raw, and then I don't know, like this candy apple red
Or,
powder coat
was it
or
like
whatever.
illusion
that was.
red or
Illusion red,
something
I
like
think.
yeah.
Yeah, okay, and that just was striking visually in person, where I was like, that is very high end and really, really cool.
He also had so he's been like toying this he calls it like bars with holes concept.
Yeah,
And he had a version for the pull-up bar. So there's a bunch of holes along the bottom and you can hook up carabiners to it. So if you have different D handles or like a prime rotate handle or something like that that you really like, you can hook it right up there and have an adjustable width pull-up station. The one he had there was smooth because that's what the customer wanted for it, but he'll also be able to do it where it's like knurled on the top, but still has the holes on the bottom. So I think that's going to be something really cool for people that want to just customize their pull-up station.
yeah, I like that. That's, I think, anything else?
I mean, I know we're missing
I
like
know,
a
right?
million different things.
Yeah, we could probably talk for 10 hours about it, but here's something I'll get you with, Joey. I mean, I knew you knew about home gym stuff, but you know a lot about gym equipment. But you don't really make content per se, do you? Or do
Not
like?
No, I mostly just I'll film my workouts and
Yeah,
I'll
right.
post
Yeah,
different
yeah. Have you ever considered doing it? I just wonder because I'd be hard pressed to find many people there that know so much about such a broad swath there. You know, have you ever considered
Joey,
it?
I don't know if Tanner told you this, but ahead of time when we identified our lists of boosts that we liked the most,
Yeah.
I was like, Tanner, I think you should maybe send this list to Joey and be like, is there any like inside track? Because I think I get the impression, just the comments I see online in the Discord, I think Joey's really got his finger on the pulse. Like he knows everything that's going on. And then, right before we were recording, Tanner's like, God, Joey knows everything. It's insane.
I've thought about it before. I love sharing information, so that's why I'm as active in all the different Discords and
Right.
Facebook groups, and I love answering people's questions, just trying to give them knowledge. I don't think I could be a reviewer. I mean, I can give feedback on stuff, but I always try not to play favorites. So like when people will ask, "Oh, should I get a Rep Aries or should I get a Rogue functional trainer rack?" It's like, well, I went Rogue, and I can tell them why I chose that. A big part of it was I already had a Rogue rack, and I didn't want to replace my rack.
Yeah.
But I also just try to give like, well, this is what I think works better on this one based on what I've tried. So I mean, I'm not opposed to it, but like Keith, I also just don't have enough time.
It's not
Very
enough hours in
busy.
the day.
Very busy. Yes. Right. Awesome. Well, Joey, we really appreciate you coming on and basically helping me get through the equipment portion of this because I took good notes on everything but the equipment.
Thought I could be of help.
Yeah, I'm excited to start editing the video so I can see your handiwork at the Rogue booth.
Hopefully I did him justice.
Yeah.
I'm either going to get a Rogue job offer or
a
get
cease and
banned for
desist
life.
or something. Like, stop representing us.
That's good.
Awesome. Thanks, Joey.
All right, thank you.
See you, Joey.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, you know what? That wasn't really an interview, but
Cool beans.
he was very deserving of those.
Yeah, he
Louisville
earned
chilled
those
cool
cool
beans.
beans. Yeah, he earned those cool beans. Big Joey did. He's moving, so he's going to be having a new home gym. He's moving out to Washington State.
Oh, okay. So I saw him make a comment about moving, and I didn't know where he. Okay, so he's really moving.
Yeah, so I think his new home gym setup is going to be pretty sweet. When we do that Pacific Northwest home gym tour, he's definitely going to be on the high on the list. Yeah.
Yep.
So that I'm actually really glad we got him. That really helped me walk through the equipment side of it and made me think of a few things that I wasn't thinking of, and he honestly just knows it better than me. One other thing I'd note, we did walk away. Big Chris at BeltFed made a custom belt, so you have to decide which belt you want to take home Have you seen the belt? I don't know if you've really seen the belt.
I saw like a jorts belt. Was that one
so
of them?
the jorts belt is one of them. I'll post dedicated reels on both of them here coming up. So one of them is the jorts belt, where it is a
which
leather
looked
belt.
hilarious on
Yes.
because it's such a mind trip of what am I looking at here?
The best part, two best parts of it, so it is a piece of they took jeans and
Okay, so there's
made
denim.
it, but they made their own leather belt fed patch on the back of
nice.
it, which is really cool. And then the front pockets,
Oh, yeah.
the
Do they actually
pockets are
work?
still there, so you could like use the front pockets and like
that's
they
awesome.
stick down.
Yeah.
So I think we for sure have to get somebody to wear that at
The meet.
the Lift Hard Live Easy Classic,
Yeah.
no doubt. Along with the other one, which is the 6-shooter belt, where it has 6 belt-fed
koozies
and
on
you
there?
can hold
Okay,
a
I did see you-
six-pack on the belt.
I did see you
And it
wearing
has-
that, and I didn't know what exactly, if that was a product or what that was. Okay, so that was a belt. That's
ours
awesome.
also. So
Sweet.
they're both sitting in. I hung the 6-shooter one. I actually hung from the side of the because it's easier to hang because it's a prong belt. I hung that from the side of the vintage weight rack. So it actually
Nice.
kind of looks cool along the side where it's like got these 6.
Yeah.
But so those are really cool belts. So like I said, I'm gonna do some sort of video with the to show off the 6 koozie one. You need to be using it for its intended purpose.
Yes, absolutely.
You know what? The thought I like of the 6-shooter, where it's like you have 6 different beverages in there, and it starts with like the earliest of the day is maybe a coffee. The second
Canned
one is
coffee.
maybe like your pre-workout.
Yeah.
The third one is maybe this order subject to change. Eventually, it's like a protein shake.
Yep.
And then the
Got
last
like a
one's
white
a brewski.
monster in there somewhere.
Yeah, there's a
then
white
you get to a
monster in there,
brewski.
and then there's a brewski.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 brewskis at the end.
I like that. That's good.
Yeah.
That is a good
And
idea.
it's like, it's your day. That's how you're plotting out your
complete
days.
nutrition right there, wrapped around you. I like
Yes.
that. That's a good idea.
So those belts that they made were super cool from Belt Fed. Pretty pumped about those. Then the one other thing I was going to note, and I mentioned this to you just shortly in passing, it really made me feel like several people brought this up and they said, where's the Massenomics booth? And after the way that Home Gym Con 2025 was, I'm like, we definitely could have had a booth there and done well. We could have sold a lot of merchandise there. The tricky part is, how do we have a booth? Because
Balancing it all.
at the Arnold, we kind of can just go and there's not that much content for us to be done anymore. We can maybe get like a video out of it and that's good. But Home Gym Con, there's a lot of content for us to take advantage of there that we can't afford not to do.
Right.
So if we have a booth, we literally can't be in 2 places at one point. The problem is.
I think
But
though it would be doable because we would get there a day early, and which gives
Yeah.
us like a Friday to start doing content, or sorry, a Thursday to start doing content. Like, so it's not
Right.
impossible. Like, it's not.
No.
Like, there's definitely ways we could make it work.
After 2024, I wasn't a booth I'm like, yeah, I could see us having a booth there. The timing of it kind of sucks because it's so close to the Lift Hard Live Easy Classic.
Yeah, I forgot about that part of it. Yeah.
But that doesn't make it impossible.
No,
But a booth is certainly a viable option
Yeah.
for Massenomics. It's just if we want the undertaking or not. It's a financially feasible option for us, and I believe would be successful. It's
Yep.
just a matter of
And it's
It's just a
possible as a
matter-
1-day
yeah.
drive. That's the other
Yes.
thing that has going in its favor.
Yes. And what's great is Jake runs it instead
Yeah.
of some dipshits at the Arnold that we don't like, and that don't actually care about us.
That work for a guy, that work for a guy, that work for a guy.
Right. So that offers a lot. There's like additional flexibility. You're not like, oh, we got to park here and they're going to yell at us. And
Yep.
then it's like, oh, can we set this 1 foot over the rug, or is someone going to come by and tell us? It's like,
Right.
well, no, it's fucking use your brain. Like, are you doing anything that's negatively affecting someone else? No.
Mhm.
Oh, it's probably okay then. There's not those same stressors that the Arnold has in that way.
Yep.
So that's something. What would be cool is because at Home Gym Con, I think we can particularly sell things like horse stall mat coasters. We can sell drink spotters. We can sell, other products that we have in the works that make a lot of sense. But what would be somewhat of a novelty as much as anything would be a kiosk of sorts where there's like a TV screen that has the certified training facility map on it.
Oh, yeah.
And someone can sign up for a certified training facility on
Right
the
there on the
spot. Be like,
spot.
hey, here's the map. You can play with it and look at the map. And it's like, oh, you think it's cool? Like, look at, people can come and then we
Right.
have a bell there. Every time someone signs up
Get
for a
to ring the
certified
bell.
training facility, they get to ring the bell because they're now on the map. You know,
Yeah.
something like
And
that.
we could pull the Huck Finn thing too, where there's a TV playing gym tours the whole weekend, you know?
Yes. TVs are cheap as shit. So like that's
Right. Oh, and I'm assuming it's not like the Arnold where to have power costs like $1,000 at your booth.
right. I would guess that's probably also, you know, more reasonably done there too. I could see something really cool with the certified training facility, like where
Yeah.
people could actually like go and, you know, whether we just have to have a dedicated little computer that just runs that, but that you could just, people could scroll and look at and pull up their certified training facility.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be, I can for sure see some ideas there.
Yeah. Anything else on Home Gym Con 2025? Made it back. I was really exhausted from just being there from Friday noon until Saturday, a little afternoon. I was wiped from it. Like I was mentally completely drained. And I mentioned it to you. Part of it is when we go together, neither of us has to make all the decisions.
Yep.
Like it is a partnership where we like
it's
share in the
50-50,
decision
or there might be
making.
a time where Tanner has a bunch of strong opinions, and that's
Yeah.
great because he can go with it. And then
Yes.
I just know
The
the day,
opposite.
like later that day, there's probably going to be a bunch of things that I have very strong opinions on, and
Right.
you don't have to make all the decisions, which is mentally draining.
That is a different, I've never experienced it, I guess, with Massenomics before, where I'm like, nope, I just call all the shots, which is harder because
That's,
It's
I mean, when I look
harder
at
to
what we
do.
got, and
Yeah.
it's becoming more evident every year that if we were somehow, either one of us was doing this solo, I don't even know how it would be working at this point. It would be so hard.
it would
What
be
it did?
really hard to do. I mean, you couldn't have another job. Like,
This would be it. Yeah.
yeah. There's no way to have another job because, but like the time thing and everything is one of the thing of it, but the mental, it's just like more mentally draining. Or even like I said, the meeting of people, because it's like this at the Arnold a lot of times when we're both at the booth, you're meeting a person and I'm meeting a person at the same time, and they're different people, and we're kind of like checking both boxes at the simultaneously.
Like the one person that's talking to me, we might have the 5-minute conversation. When they're
Right.
done talking to me, they might just
And
say,
then
"Hey
you say,
Tanner,
"Oh,"
good to
and you
see
say,
you."
"Hey,
And
Tanner,
then on the
this
way
is
out
this
go.
guy. Yeah, right.
But you
right.
catch all of the full ones then.
Right. Which is good. Like, I mean, to put that plainly, we like that. We
it's
enjoy
fun.
getting
Yes,
to meet the
it's
people,
awesome.
but it's just when it does become like actually exhausting after a while, and there's just no shared load of that. And like when that happens, most common scenario is when one of us is doing that is like mostly meeting the person. When they leave and when we have spare time, it's like, oh, so who was that? What's their story? You know, like I kind of get the
Yep.
story through you, or you get the story
cliff
through
notes,
me.
get the
Right.
summary of what just happened.
Right. Yeah, it's like, oh, you wouldn't believe it. They're
Or someone goes by, like, "Hey, is that so and so?" And you're like, "I
Yes.
think it is." Yeah,
Yeah.
You also got double the radar out there.
instead of me by myself, and I'm like, fuck, now who is that? You know, and like, oh, damn it, what is his name? And I'm like, God, I know Tommy would remember his name if he was here. Yeah. So doing stuff solo is different. So I mean, if you were say, I don't know, Coop when he was starting on early on, you know, he always did everything solo, no doubt. So that's definitely a different experience.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know that there's anything about it that's easier.
Yeah. Like if you don't have a ton going on, it probably is a little easier. But
Right,
yeah,
right.
and I'm not saying this like knock anyone, but like once you have like a lot going on, like there's a reason like companies have marketing departments with 20 people in them. You know, it's
Right. I could see that. Yeah. Okay. I don't know. Did I miss anything? I think you probably.
I mean,
got
I'm
the
sure you
rundown,
probably
don't
missed a lot, but I'll
Yeah.
catch that. I mean, that's what the videos are for, right?
That's right. Yeah. So this comes out in a week. By the time this comes out, there's probably 2 videos that are already
Should
out.
hopefully be 2 videos out.
And there's hopefully one more video coming. And well, I already recorded the intros and outros, so I kind of know what I said. I feel like I don't know exactly. You'll have to kind of decide exactly how they are split, but the one is kind of the biggest and best of Home Gym Con, and that's just kind of like where we tour some of the biggest names, some of the biggest booths that are there. Next one is some of our favorite equipment at Home Gym Con. I guess is mine because there again I was the one. But really it wasn't because we had kind of
we
vetted
did identify like, hey,
beforehand.
this is the most relevant to us. This is what
Yeah,
we're
so that's
interested
where
in.
we'll talk about like dialed motion and PRX and some other ones like that. And then the last one, I don't know what the title of that one is for sure, but it's kind of like the smaller creators, or really what it was is I wanted to make sure any crew that we hadn't caught yet, I want to get them on a video. So it's the final one is a very Massenomics supporting member focused Home Gym Con rundown. And we still didn't even catch them all in that one. I did. So apologies to the supporting members that had boosts. I'm not lying. When we got to the end of, or when we were about done recording, the one, we didn't record that one that has the VTS. What's that place called? Is that
Bulletproof?
or-
Yeah. Yep.
I wanted to do that. That was like one more that I'm like, okay, we're going to get this one. And that guy was busy with someone else. And we stood there for like 10 minutes. And then we stood there for like 10 more minutes. And then all of a sudden I couldn't find him. And I was like, you know what, Minnie? I don't even care anymore. We're not doing this. I'm making the call. We're not doing it. You can put your shit away and you're off duty for the day. I have lost the drive.
Yeah, you sent me a message. You're like, yeah, it just got to a point I just couldn't do anymore. I'm like, I totally get it.
I usually have a pretty high drive.
Oh,
to
we
get
do.
shit
Like
done.
we knock stuff out.
Yeah.
Like,
And I'm like, I lost it. I don't have the, I'm like, nah, it's good. We got enough. And it probably would have been better had I gotten like 2 or 3. I mean, the content we put out on is going to be very good. Like, but in my mind, I even knew, I'm like, well, it'd be even better if I got a couple more. I was just like, no.
24 hours. I'd be surprised if there's many people that got more than what we did in 24 hours there. That's
right.
Yeah.
That's pretty much a wrap. Let's call that a wrap on Home Gym Con 2025. Now we got to start prepping for Home Gym Con 2024. But what we actually got to start really, really finalizing prep for is the Lift Hard, Live Easy Classic, because at the time that this comes out, we're in July. That's Lift Hard, Live Easy Classic.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yes.
You actually cannot hold anything back. Now, the billboard is up. We haven't, the billboard went up since, I don't think we've actually talked about the billboard being up, but the Lift Hard, Live Easy Classic 2025 billboard is live.
By the time this episode comes out, we're like 12, 13 days out from the meet.
Right.
Wow.
Right. Yeah. So finishing touches stuff. The meat shirts are here. A bunch of the corresponding meat paraphernalia is like magnets.
Oh, yeah.
All kinds of stuff that people don't know about yet. Some secret shirts, some secret shorts. There might be a silly pint this year. We'll talk about a little bit more of that stuff probably like next week, because will the episode that comes out will the next episode that we record be the last one that comes out before?
Actually, yeah. Yeah, because this comes out on the 6th. The next episode comes out on the 13th, which is meat week. So, yeah, the next episode is kind of like the meat preview.
So let's stop talking about it now, because we're going to talk about it next week.
Time flies.
Yeah, so that'll be one of our central topics of next week's episode is getting ready for Lift Hard, Live Easy Classic, and now welcoming 100 plus crew to Western Northeast South Dakota.
Wow.
It only comes once a year.
The town can only handle them once a year.
Yeah. I got something else I want to talk about here. Let's see if I could find the right thing to really set it off.
I love this bar.
Texas Power Bars, TexasPowerBars.com. Not at Home Gym Con. A little underwhelmed by barbells at Home Gym Con, actually. I'm a barbell guy.
Yeah.
Mars Bar was set up there. I just didn't see much in the world of bars. Maybe there's nothing, maybe
It's all been done. There's nothing left.
Maybe we know everyone knows you just go to TexasPowerBars.com at this point, and there's no need to, everyone's done trying
the
to
problem.
I mean, you said it. Buddy Cap solved all the known issues already. There's nothing left to be done differently. So that is why you just head over to TexasPowerBars.com. Check out their bars. 29 millimeter black zinc Texas Power Bar, tough to beat. The Texas Deadlift Bar, unbeatable. It has not been beaten.
I mean, it's kind of the industry standard here at this point.
It wins not just 9 out of 10 dentists recommend it. 10 out of 10 dentists recommend the Texas Deadlift Bar if you're deadlifting. Don't get anything else. Get yourself a Texas Deadlift Bar, Texas Squat Bar, the All-American Bar. I use the All-American Bar a little bit. Like if I'm working on my front squats, I'm busting out the All-American Bar. Check out their full lineup at TexasPowerBars.com.
Oh, Tanner, we changed it up. Oh, yeah, BuildFast. I'm like, who the hell am I leaving off the list here?
I had to refresh myself of who I'm doing this week. Yeah.
Okay, this episode is also brought to you by our friends over at BuildFast Formula. BuildFast Formula pumps out some crazy freaking supplements over there. They got your protein covered. They got your pre-workout covered. They got a different version of your pre-workout covered. We're big fans of the 80-20 protein. I like the chocolate lava cake. You get that 80 casein, 20% whey protein. It's just a great protein. Mixes great with everything. Flavor's great. You really can't go wrong with it. It's a very premium option. If you are a pre-workout person, though, you got to check out the Blitz version of their website. They got the full Blitz, which is dual nitric oxide support on that sucker. Super good stuff. They also got the Blitz 3D, Vaso Blitz if you want something without caffeine in it. They got lots of options. It's all good stuff. The packaging's great. The supply or the quality's great. Customer support is great. Head on over to buildfastformula.com, and when you're there, use code Massenomics, and you can save 10% on your next order. And if you go with the subscribe and save option, you can also save another 10%. That's 10% and 10%. That's a whole lot of savings. Buildfastformula.com. Use code Massenomics. Thank you, BuildFast.
I almost think, now I'm thinking of it, I almost think we should go over a certified training facility of the week, and here's why. This is the Home Gym Con 2025 recap episode.
Yep.
And I feel like we've got a market
doing a
coming in
disservice
here that needs to know about, and I want to pick one this week because I've got two things to say on picking one. Someone just joined up from Maine. Maine is off the board.
Oh, hell yeah.
So we do have Big Al's Garage Gym. We would do that one because we promised if anyone
no
signs
photos.
up, but no photos.
Yep.
So Big Al's Garage Gym, you send us photos, you will get featured on the certified training facility of the week.
So what's left? Just New Mexico then?
I think still Vermont and New Mexico.
Vermont.
But that's what I want to do. I want to do, because we can't get Vermont. What we've got ourselves is the Vermont border at, what is the name of the training facility here? Is it just his name? Do I have that right?
Well, what
Is it just Jeff's?
Jeff R?
Yeah, Jeff R.
Yeah. I
Okay.
clicked on it here.
All right. Maybe that is the name of a certified
But that's
training
not,
facility.
is that New Hampshire though? Is it what it's actually? Yeah.
That is
okay.
actually New Hampshire, but I want to do this one because Big Knot Jeff at Home Gym Con said, you were so freaking close to including us on certified training facility of the week. You guys clicked on it and said, oh, no, that's not in Vermont. That's in New Hampshire. So then you guys clicked on the next one, and we were sitting there like, oh, they're going to do it. And then it was like, no.
All right.
So
Here we
I
go.
think as a little redemption, we will feature Big Jeff's certified
And
training
he's got a
facility
lot of photos
in
and a
New
lot
Hampshire.
of really
And
cool stuff in here.
Here's what makes this so cool. What I found out from being live in person with Big Jeff. This is Big Jeff's living room.
This actually is okay.
This is their
It looks
living
very much
room
like a
of his
house. So.
Yes. This is in his living room of his house, his certified training facility.
Hey, he's living in it, you know, he's doing it.
Yeah. So
Wow,
what do you
okay.
see? Are you looking at photo one here?
Yeah, let's start on photo one. Wow. All right. See, I clearly is in a living room. You can just tell by the trim,
The doorway to that
the
goes to
doorway, just the overall
another
architecture
room
of
the
it.
house. Yeah.
I mean, first off the bat, we got some heavy hitters here. We got a barbell wall, just a bunch of bars on there. We got, it looks like I think that's the Rep open trap bar down there. We got a Nordic Track treadmill. We got some type of hack squat
Is that like the Dr. Tatty
It looks
Waffles
exactly
one?
like the Dr. Tatty Waffles one, which I cannot remember what the hell that thing is called.
It wasn't like Major Fitness or something, was it?
It could have
I'm just
been.
making that up. I don't know.
Could have been. And then it looks like he has like a bulletproof isolator thing on an upright there on the right. I think that's what that is.
Okay. Yep.
Which is pretty cool to see. So those would be the first pieces. We go to slide 2. Yeah, you can see.
I like how he has a barbell mounted on each side of his doorway. In that first
Yes,
one.
I did gloss over that. Yeah.
And then he has a barbell rack in the back with another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So he's got 10 barbells in this first photo.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good.
That's good signs of a place to get strong.
Yeah.
Number 2, we got a bench. It looks like a rep adjustable bench of some kind there. We got some medicine balls. We got a Nordic Track treadmill. Go to photo 3. We got some of those X-Master chrome plates. He has some of those Kensui chrome plates. Just a bunch of various accessories. You go to photo 4. I'm assuming this is the entryway to his house. He's got the big bulletproof banner, which it's a great way to be greeted into a house. Like, what this house is about when you see that, when you first walk in. Photo 5. Wow. Okay. The entryway to his house is actually just a barbell wall. Wow. And wall
So he's
control.
got 5 more barbells there.
That is impressive. That's wow. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. 5 more.
So he's up to
5 more
15
and
at
1 and
least.
4 panels of wall control. That is the first thing you are greeted at in Big Jeff's house. Wow. That is a greeting right there. And then photo 6, we got
his rack.
Yeah, his rack. It's got to be it's got to be a
Titan,
rope rack though,
isn't it?
because it has the keyhole thing. Does Titan do that keyhole design?
I don't know. The thing says Titan.
The rack badge says Titan, but maybe I don't know enough. Maybe Titan does that too, or maybe it's just Titan cross members up there because you can see the imprint on one of those cross members that says Titan. I'm not totally sure what's going on there. Then is that a Prime bench? Looks like the Prime logo down there.
Yeah.
He's got that, and also has those the
wall
bulletproof.
control.
Is it the VTS or whatever those trolley things are called? Oh yeah, that's the one that has the Smith machine. You can put the bar in those, I believe.
Oh wow.
So that's some pretty advanced stuff.
Also, I see another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 barbells at least. He's over 20 barbells
Okay,
now.
does this house have a basement, or is he just wondering
There's
about the sheer
There
weight
is
of this?
well, I don't know. There is one other living area though, I know. So he does have somewhere that he can live.
I'm just saying from a structural integrity standpoint, this is some heavy stuff in this.
He also has a lot of plates in here.
Yeah,
People haven't really
he's
talked about. There's
really-
plates everywhere.
He's really putting the load on this house here. I'm looking at slide 7.
He's got a lot of attachments also on this rack.
Yeah.
You know, like he's got double Darko anchors. The certified training facility flag is in the background there of that one also. And
Okay, go to this slide 7, Tanner. That's one of those. Is that a mirror or a tonal? You know what I'm talking about on the wall?
oh
there?
yeah, that was the first thing they got. He said he bought that, and then it's been a spiral from there.
Oh my god!
He said they bought that,
Wow.
and then they now have this. He said that went to all of this.
Wow. Okay.
They went from that tonal, I think it's a tonal or whatever it is,
or
and,
mirror or whatever.
and it he's like, yeah, now it's like it is now.
Holy,
you know?
that is going. That is.
I think a pretty short amount of time too.
that is doing it up. Wow.
Drink spotter right there. Well,
Yep.
see, there's another upright in that.
Yeah, that
picture
red
also.
upright, which you just kind of get the corner of it on both photos, so it's sort of hard to tell how that's
And
being
then, oh,
used.
look at his fireplace mantle. Then
I know.
You
So say you go to the mantle.
That's where the certified training facility certificate is actually at.
And you got the rep-ins underneath the mantle, which is just a great place for them. You can
Chalk
see the
bowl.
reflection of the hex lights in the TV.
Yeah.
which-
He's got a bamboo bar up there too.
Yeah,
That's
there's a
another bar.
bamboo bar. Yeah.
That's at least 22 bars.
Go to page 9. That's another photo of the rack.
A different angle.
Page 10. Yeah, it's just a different angle again. Wow. I mean, what an impressive. This house is incredible that this is a house. Love to go see this someday.
Well, annoyingly, another bit of information, because I don't think this changes the fact that we need a gym tour of this facility at some point in time. But we did get, unless we can get there really quick, we got, what's that called? We got scooped on this one. We got scooped.
By
you know
who?
You know who scooped us on this one?
Who?
Someone else I was hanging out with at Home Gym Con. Gluck
Oh,
got the best of us on this one. He's already been there to
he
tour.
thinks that's just because it's his part of the country. He gets dibs on it.
Yeah.
Doesn't he know he's barking up the wrong tree here? This is our game.
Yeah. Gluck beat us to Big Jeff's training facility here. So I still think we have to get a tour of this when we get out that direction, though.
Yeah, I agree.
But
Wow.
Big Gluck, at least for now, did beat us to this one.
Impressive stuff.
One other thing, that reminds me of one other thing at Home Gym Con, the number of content creators that were there, the number of people filming stuff was absolutely insane. Like everywhere you looked, there was a cameraman and someone on a camera. Like when we'd go to a booth, you're always like waiting in line to be the person to interview the person next.
My turn to record.
You were. Like there was like 5 times when we'd show up and be like, oh, Gluck's there recording, or whoever it is, we'll wait and go to the next place and come back. Like all the time. Man Who Parks in Gym, Flex Marks the Spot, Kyle, Mike, the Jungle Gym. Is it?
Yep,
the
Jungle Gym. Yep.
I met him. He's a good dude. Probably forget 100 other ones, but
he's a certified training facility. Do you know
yes,
that? Yeah.
Yes, we talked about that, and he thinks
no photos. Doesn't have photos on his.
He needs to send us photos because we talked about him being in the Michigan area and that getting a tour.
Yep,
going to that place. But so this was the certified training facility of the week. Almost forgot. Oh, there is one more bar in this 10th photo. Oh, that's the bamboo bar though. But he has at least 22 bars in this place. So what I wonder, Tommy, do you think you could somehow figure out a way to get strong in here?
Hell yeah. Getting hella strong with Big Jeff up in the, what's this place called again? I already clicked off.
I don't know.
Yeah, we don't have the gym name.
Yeah,
Either way,
I gotta ask.
Getting hella strong up in that house, that's for sure.
The gym name is Jeff's House.
We're having a house party up in there, and it's a lifting party.
If you haven't signed up for a certified training facility yet, I've got one last question to ask you.
Now what the hell are you waiting for?
Seriously, get signed up. I think we're getting like to be 300 strong and growing in the certified training facility map. Check out the map if you haven't already, and please, if you don't have photos of your training facility, get those sent in to us so we can check out your gym someday. Let's see. Do we want to talk about anything else today, or should we kind of wrap? Maybe we should just wrap.
Yeah,
this
we
up
can probably just close this one down. Save the rest.
You did have puking in there. Was that just?
Oh, we could. That is actually just a quick follow up.
Yeah.
What was it? 2 weeks
You didn't
ago?
puke, did you?
No, I did not puke. Luckily, thank God I did not puke this weekend.
Yeah.
But you had 2 weeks ago asked when was the last time everyone puked. Genuinely surprised how many comments, feedback we got on the YouTube video of people giving us details of the last time they puked. So it was very fun to read through all
some
those.
people with some pretty impressive streaks going too. Scott Dodds was the most frequent puker, with him puking like every day. So
no surprise there.
Forgot about that one. But some people that have like decade plus streaks going, that is not a streak you want. You don't even know what puking feels like after you haven't done it.
No, at that point, at that point, maybe you need to just to make sure you can still do it.
I just want to feel something again.
I mean, you'll feel something.
Okay, that's good update. Check out next week. We're going to talk about some pre-Lift Hard Live Easy. It'll be like the pre-show for the Lift Hard Live Easy Classic. Frick, we're going to be all kinds of people here, and we got to get off this. We got to get ready for the Lift Hard Live Easy Classic. I guess we got to
quit promoting this home gym crap and get to our stuff.
We got our own shit to talk about here, don't we?
No kidding.
Do get a certified training facility. Buy the Home Gym Nerd shirt. All you Home Gym nerds, everyone was asking what's the status of the Home Gym Nerds shirt. I saw a lot of them there. Several people came up and asked what the scoop is on that, and it is fully restocked again. So all sizes right now, small through 4X. If you're at Home Gym Con and you don't have a Home Gym Nerd shirt, what kind of nerd are you?
You're not a real one, just a poser.
You're not a real one. All right, you can follow me at Tanner_. Wait, one other thing. what was Jose's gym tour was the last to come out.
Have you got
so
to watch
make
that
sure-
yet?
Yeah, I have not finished it.
Okay, but you're
Actually, it was a very, very hectic time since
that's why
that
I
one
wasn't
has
sure
come
if
out.
you'd actually got to see it.
So I'm hopefully going to catch that one soon. So insane basement gym. Do
Great
not
tour.
miss
I
Jose's
mean,
tour.
one of, as far as money goes, maybe the most expensive home gym we've looked at so far.
Yeah, it's debatable on whether some other, is Juji Mufu's a home gym?
Right. That is the
Right.
debate of like,
Right.
I mean, if you have a whole separate outbuilding, that's is that
Right.
still a home gym or is that just straight up a gym at this point? Like,
Right. But where Jose's is a home gym.
Yes.
Definitively.
without a doubt, and a damn good one at that.
So don't miss that gym tour, and then don't miss all the home gym content, YouTube videos that we've got coming and that have already come out by the time you're listening to this. Tommy, where do they find you at?
You can find me at Tomahawk_D.
Just make sure to follow Massenomics at Massenomics.
See ya.